All right, I am back. I'm sorry about that, guys. Like, it was asking for verification and the verification was not coming on the screen. So I figured it would be good to just reset it and start from the beginning. So I apologize. I had to leave again and come back. So I'm going to give it a minute, let people come back into the live because a whole bunch of stuff was happening, just weird stuff happening. I was like, let me just reset it and come back. So I'm back. I'm here. I apologize for leaving and having to reset. That's the first time I've ever seen the thing reset and not like let me actually verify myself. But it's weird that I didn't think I was being active because I'm right here. But anyway, so hopefully I'm going to give you guys time to come into the live because I know I had to reset. So I apologize for leaving and coming back. So hopefully you guys can come back in, let you guys come into the room and get all settled again. Because we were getting momentum too, and it took away the momentum. I'm really upset about that. I was like, come on, let me verify. It wouldn't let me verify. So it was like, you're inactive. You got to verify it. And I was like, where's the verification? It's not happening. So feel free to come in. We're going to start back where we left off. We were doing the interview with Elias, and ChatGPT was taking on the role of Elias and becoming a person for us to interact with. So hopefully we can get back into talking to her and getting back into it. So again, I apologize for leaving. I just had to reset it because it was about to cut me off, and I was like, no, you're not going to cut out the live because I'm in the middle of doing something and teaching something. So I apologize, guys. So we're resetting, we're restarting, we're redoing it again. We're coming back into it. So we were having ChatGPT answer questions as Elias for us, right? And that's what we were hoping to do. So it was really cool what she was doing. She's really taking on the persona of Elias, and she's really doing it in a way that I think is really kind of cool and interesting and engaging. Like, she's really taking on the persona of our character and helping us with it, right? So we asked her, well, asked him, I keep saying her, but she's taking on the persona of Elias, so she is now officially him. So we're asking him things that's going to help us understand his character better. So when we write him, we understand why he's doing certain things, why he's like not opening up and saying things, why he's like hiding in the group of the harem, right? Because if it's reverse harem like we created, he's with other guys, and the other guys are probably more talkative, more social, more interactive, and he's more the shy guy, shy character, and there's a reason for it. And that's why we have this background on him being raised in a nunnery, him using information to kind of help understand why he has this shy personality, why he feels insecure about himself and his powers. Maybe he doesn't feel like he's strong enough to use his powers. All these things can help us create a strong character that we can kind of put forth and utilize, right? So that really helps us put him in a perspective so we understand him better, right? So now let's ask him one other question, because I think this is really important to how the end goal is. We don't really know what our big evil is. We don't know if we've made an organization or if it's like an evil, one person that's evil. But let's ask him what his like morals and stances when it comes to good and evil, because we kind of want to know what he is and where he stands, right? Thank you for being so open, Elias. I also want to ask you, what are your morals and beliefs when it comes to good and evil? What do you believe makes a good person or a bad person?
I believe that what makes someone good is their intention to act with kindness, empathy, and integrity. A good person strives to do what's right, even when it's difficult. On the other hand, I believe that a bad person is someone who intentionally causes harm or acts selfishly without regard for others. But I also believe people can change and grow. It's the choices we make and our willingness to learn from them that define us.
That's really interesting and very introspective in how you see people and the world. If you had to go and battle someone and fight them to be able to save your people that you care about and the world, what do you think you'd be able to bring to that battle, that fight, to help you win and conquer the evil?
In a battle to save those I care about, I would bring my determination and unwavering loyalty. Though I may be shy, my inner strength and dedication to protecting others would drive me. I would rely on my ability to stay calm under pressure and think strategically. My compassion and empathy would also be my strengths, helping me to unite others and inspire them to fight alongside me.
So, yeah, it was really on point, wasn't it, Lachey? It was kind of cool. So, I mean, the fact that he's able to, like, tell us these things, we don't even know the story yet. We don't know how the story plays out. We don't know, like, what happens, but we're just getting deep into the character so we know him as an individual character. And this is what I want you guys to get. And this is what I think a lot of times hinders you when you're writing, and hinders me too. If I don't know the story, I feel like I don't know the characters, right? Not necessarily. Your characters can come first, and you see them so vividly, so clearly, you know who they are, and then the story can come after. You don't have to have the story first and then the characters in the story. And a lot of times having the characters first can really help solidify who your characters are within your story, because you know them inside and out, you understand their flaws, you understand their challenges, you understand their successes, their benefits, their strengths and weaknesses. And then now when you tell your story, now this is what I mean when I say, when you guys have a lot of characters, how do you find their voice? This is how you do it. Because now we know him so much that when we talk about him, or when he's talking, or when he's doing things, he's going to stand out because we know his character as this shy yet strong inner strength, and this ability to be able to be loyal and quiet and secure in who he is, even though he has flaws. So that's how you narrow down your voice, guys, by finding who they are as an individual. So when they do things in your story and say things in your story, they stand out for sure. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate it. Let's see. I know, right? Wow, it's amazing. Like, this is like a really cool, and I'm glad I was able to show you guys this exercise, because like I literally thought about this today. I was like, let's see if we can do that character interview exercise that I tell you guys to do all the time. Because some of you may feel like, oh, I don't know how to take on the persona of my character. I don't even know who my character is. Well, ChatGPT can become your character for you, so you don't have to. So now it doesn't have to be just you doing both sides, which I think is kind of fun, because like I say, even though you may feel a little schizophrenic or something like that when you're doing it, it's still a fun exercise. So I encourage you guys to do both, so that way it can help you for sure. Do you have prompts that you can ask ChatGPT, or are you freestyling it? I'm actually freestyling it. I'm having an actual conversation with her or him, and just going by what I want to know from the character. You can definitely have prompts for sure. And what you can do is you can use ChatGPT to ask questions. Hey, I want to do a character interview with my characters. Can you give me a list of questions I can ask them about their strengths, their weaknesses, their inner goals, or their inner challenges, their external challenges, their inner goals and external goals. You can ask them to have questions that align with what I've been telling you guys to do. So that way you have a list of questions, and now you can go back into ChatGPT and say, hey, now I want you to take on the persona of this character. Here's a description of this character, and I want you to be this character for me in this interview. And I'm going to ask you these questions, and I want you to respond as this character. That's all you need to do. So you don't really need a lot of prompting. You can use ChatGPT to come up with the questions, and you can use ChatGPT to have the actual interview and do it back and forth. So both can work for sure. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything else you guys said. Thank you for the follows, guys. But how would you get started with it? Okay, so first, make sure you have ChatGPT. So you can join for free. So you just go to I think you just go to chatgpt.com now. And it used to be OpenAI.something, but if you just go to chatgpt.com, register for a free account, right? And like I said, the free account may not allow you to do the voice activation. If so, you may have to sign up for an actual subscription, which is $20 a month. So you may have to do the subscription. So I'm letting you know that may be a thing, because I don't have the free version anymore. I have the paid version now. So you can do the voice activation, or it may limit how much you can talk to the voice activation if you don't have the paid version. But sign up for ChatGPT, sign up and have an account. And then when you start, you'll go in and you'll see the prompt window, and it says start your prompting, or, ask ChatGPT for help. It's always going to open that window for you. And now, thankfully, because when they first started, they had no way of organizing things. They have actual ways that you can organize folders and projects. So now you can organize your different things and different aspects of what you're doing. So I find that a lot more easier, because I have so many things in there, and I'm like, there's too many things in here. I'm going to keep track of it. I have to scroll and scroll and scroll to find what I need. But you can organize it like you can regular folders too. So all you do is go in there and then just start your trial, or I don't know if they have a trial, actually. They may have a trial. If they have a trial, I would say do the trial, so you can actually utilize the content. Or they may say, no, you have to actually pay for it. So I'm not sure, because I got it 2 years ago? So I've been with it for 2 years, because I've just been utilizing it and playing with it for a while. But yeah, I would just recommend just going for it and just playing with it. Because keep in mind, there's no really a right or wrong way to do this. It's all about just being creative and doing your own thing. It's all about creating if you want to do your questions yourself and make your questions yourself, you can do them. Or you can like go online. There's different like character interviews online that you can see. One thing I also recommend people to do if you get stuck with asking questions of your character, watch interviews between news outlets and actors when they ask them questions about the roles they played, the characters they played in the movies and things like that. And it's really cool to take those questions and use them for your character, because now you're using those questions to kind of generate ideas for your own characterizations. So go and watch movies that you like and interviews with those characters. If you like certain movies and you like the main characters in those movies, look for interviews with those people and those actors and see how they do the interview structure for that. And then that'll help you get ideas for questions as well as interview structures for your own characters for sure. So that's what I would recommend. So yeah, no worries, Afro, for sure. Like, it's just like just starting. That's all it is. It's not about like making sure you're doing it the right way or, don't do it the wrong way. It's just go ahead and just start it. And like I said, you can start with a free subscription. If you do, it'll just be text-based. And what I'm doing voice activated, you may not have that voice activation if you can't do the paid one now. Just do the free one. And then just talk to ChatGPT and text it back and forth. You won't have the cool accent or anything. Don't worry about the accent. But you will have the back and forth interview and say, hey, I want you to do an interview with me, and you take on the persona of this character and type that up and then submit it, and then they'll do the interview with you back and forth, back and forth. So it works either way. I just do the voice one too because it's easier online, so you guys can hear the voice and it's not just like me reading it out loud. You actually hear the interaction, you hear the back and forth, and it takes you to another interactive level when I'm doing it on live. So don't even feel like you have to do it this way. You can just do the basic text version and it'll still work just as fine. You'll still get ideas for sure. Yeah, you only get so many minutes on voice a day. Exactly, Lachey. Exactly. So I usually only do it here online because I know I can't usually do it afterwards. It resets the next day. So you only get so many minutes per day. So when you've used it and you've burnt it out, you can just, wait and do it the next day and combine them or something like that. That's fine. So yeah, you only get so many minutes to do the actual voice. Hi, oh my Marsh. Can you tell me what platform you're talking about? Yeah, sure. I'm talking about ChatGPT. So we're looking at the ChatGPT forum and how to do the voice activation or the voice generation content and utilizing that to help your creativity and help your writing. So that's all we're doing. We've been using ChatGPT and Midjourney today in our live and showing you how you can create character profiles using them. So all we're doing is using ChatGPT's voice activation feature to create a mock interview for our character, and she's taking on the persona of Elias for us, a fictional character we created on Wednesday. So now we're taking this step 2 and showing how you can do an actual character interview with this fake character we created all together on Wednesday, right? And the story we haven't even created yet. We don't even know what the story's about, but we're getting so deep into the character. We know him better than we know anyone, and we haven't even created the story outline yet. We don't even know what the story's about. We haven't even gone deep into the story yet. That's why I said I asked him questions about good and evil, because I don't really know what the evil is in the story yet. I don't know who his ultimate goal is of defeating, an evil witch or an evil organization or, an evil, alien race. We don't know what the evil is yet, but we do know who he is as a character, and that's going to help us understand for sure. Paid is cool, and I guess you would say create a character. Yeah, exactly. You could say, help me create a character, and you can say, I want to create a male character, and I want him to be, like we did with him, shy, want him to have magical powers, and we want him to be a little bit insecure, but still have inner strength to showcase that he could add something to the actual group that he's going to be fighting with. So it can be that simple. It doesn't have to be, like, really detailed. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I want him to have green eyes and red hair, and I want him to be 6'2", and you don't have to know all that yet. That can come later. All you need is just a few basic things to know about your character that you want, and then ChatGPT can kind of work with you and have a conversation with you so you can kind of flesh it out together. This is why I say it's so powerful, because this isn't about your writing. It's not about writing your story anymore. It's about helping you generate ideas so you're not alone in the process and you feel like you have something to go back and forth with, right? Because sometimes it's hard to do this with friends and family, because they may be like, what's the point of this? I don't know what we're doing. I don't understand this. And like, ChatGPT is fine. It's working for you. So it's not even about like, I don't want to do this. It's like not an emotional thing, because it's an actual AI, right? So I think it makes it even better because it's not like a interrupter to what you're doing. She focuses on the thing that you have at task. She makes sure she gets it done. She does it well, and then you're done with it, right? It's not like they have to argue with you about why you're doing this, the purpose of this, why you want to write a book. I don't understand why you want to write a book. There's no like weird stuff like that. It's just an actual basic generator that helps you create content and you're good to go. So that's what I like about it. And it remembers what, yeah, exactly. That's what I love about it too. It remembers where you left off. Now you can turn that feature off. Some people like to turn it off because when they start a new project, they don't want it to remember things that they've done before, or they don't want it to have the same tone or voice. I want it to remember because I want to pick up where I left off and continue it. Now, this is a fictional story I'm never going to write. I'm just doing it here for live. But I still want to remember because when I come back to her and ask her more questions, I want her to remember what we talked about last time so we can continue our conversation. If she refreshes and doesn't remember, I have to refresh her and give her the memory. I want her to do the work for me. That's what I'm paying her for, right? So it helps that she remembers so that we can pick up where we left off and move on to the next part of the process. And I don't have to like always refresh it or remind it what's going on and things like that. And that's why I always ask her too. Do you remember what we talked about when it came to Elias? Do you remember what we talked about when it came to this place? Do you remember what we talked about when it came to this story or this author name or this author brand? That way she can remember what we talked about and refresh me too. And now we can pick off where we left off and continue the conversation. So I think that really helps when you're in your process because my memory, let's be honest, not the best now that I'm getting older. So I'm glad that this can kind of help me take away that part so I don't have to remember it for sure. So yeah, ChatGPT for sure. Sorry, TT kicked you. Oh, no, it's fine. It's probably because I reset it. It kicked me off, too. It was trying to kick me off. I had to reset. So you're good, Lisa. No worries. You're all good. TikTok has been acting weird. It's never done that to me before where it's like you got to verify, but you can't verify. So I apologize to you guys for having to restart. Got it? Okay, good. Yeah. And let me know if you have any questions for sure. It's definitely worth the $20. So right. Is a $20 sub voice prompt unlimited? No. So you get only a certain amount of minutes per day for the voice. Also, if you choose a fancy voice, like you see I have the British lady voice because I like the British lady voice. At a certain point, she'll also switch back to a regular voice where there's no accent. It's just a regular sub voice. And then she'll also be like very robotic in a sense. That also shows you that you've used your minutes for the day too. So sometimes it'll still give you content, but it won't be as unique as the cool British accent that I have. So good question. Yeah, you do have a certain amount of minutes you can use per day, and it will run out if you do it too much. You just tried it. It was Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You had to see it in action. So dope. That's so awesome. I love that. You had to put me on your calendar. That's awesome. No, you can definitely put me on your calendar. Like during the week, I usually don't know when I'm coming on, but I can always guarantee you I'll be here around 3 p.m. on Wednesdays and 4 p.m. on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time. So at least those 2 times you can know that I'll be here. On Fridays, I normally come on late. So like 11 midnight is when I come on weekends and Fridays and Saturdays. So that's when you'll usually catch me for weekends. So I used to be early morning. I don't think I can do early morning like I used to anymore. I may try it this week. We'll see how I feel. But I have not been sleeping in the best way. So I think it's been really disrupting my quality of life and I can feel it. So it's been a tough going a little bit for the last couple of weeks since my sleep habits have been on the I don't know. It hasn't been declining. It just hasn't been like the best quality of sleep that I could be getting. So we'll see if this week is better. But hopefully you guys have seen what we've done and things like that. Also, those of you who just arrived, we did character profile imagery for Elias too. I'm going to show you that really quickly because I want to update you guys who just joined us so you can see what we did earlier. Let's see. All right, so we did the character profile sheet that I put in the Discord. And all I did was just put his images. These are Elias's images that we got from both ChatGPT and Midjourney. Oh, why can't I do this right? Okay, there we go. So those are the 3 images it gave us. So we put that at the top of the character profile sheet. And then we also made a character collage with the same images. So that's who Elias looks like. That's our character today. So we kind of have a visual representation of who he is. He is both of Irish and Puerto Rican descent. So he is definitely multicultural. So he has that background. So we know his origins because now we know who he is. We know his culture. We know his background and things like that. Actually, let's ask ChatGPT that question because sometimes you're like, I know some of the things we came out with and talked about last time we asked about when you guys are writing a character that's not of your culture, not of your race, not of your gender, how do you stay on track with that? Let's actually talk to him about that. All right. Okay, Elias, like you've been giving some really, solid answers so far. I want to ask.
Thank you. If there's anything else you'd like to ask or explore about Elias, feel free to let me know.
Actually, I do have another question for Elias. Can you answer this for me, please?
Of course. What's your next question for Elias?
I know you are of Irish and Puerto Rican descent, and so that makes you multicultural. Can you tell me a little bit about your experiences being a multicultural product of such a diverse, parentage?
Being of Irish and Puerto Rican descent, I feel a deep connection to two rich cultures. It's a blend of vibrant traditions and diverse experiences that have shaped my worldview. It can sometimes feel challenging to navigate both, but it's also incredibly enriching. I find strength in this diversity and a sense of pride in embracing my heritage. It helps me see the world from multiple perspectives and fosters a deeper understanding of people and their stories.
Thank you for that, Afro. I appreciate it. I appreciate you looking after my sleep. I really do appreciate that. So look at what he talked about. And I think this is really interesting, especially if you're writing a biracial character or a multicultural character. Because let's be honest, this is why I don't get why we have racism at all. I'm not just talking about directed at one race at all. We are all of different cultures. We're not all one thing at all. So I don't even understand why racism has ever been a thing or a concept to begin with. But it exists, right? And there's going to be issues where someone feels out of place. If they're in a family, sometimes they may not feel like they connect to either side completely, especially if you're biracial. And like sometimes you have family members who are like, oh, you're not completely Irish, so we don't accept you. Or you're not completely Puerto Rican, we don't accept you. Like you'll feel like that when you are of a mixture culture and descent, right? So I think it's important to note if you guys are writing outside of your spectrum when it comes to culture, race, gender, even sexual orientation, right? Even if you're writing a transgender character or a gay, lesbian, bisexual character and you're like, what is it like to be you so I don't give you misrepresentation, so I'm doing your character justice, right? And this is why I tell you also, make sure you try to have a sensitivity reader who understands that person and can see that you're not doing harm to the character where a person could be offended if they are of that background or that culture or of that standing. So a sensitivity reader can help make sure you're staying on track when you're doing that. But doing this interview, we can kind of get insight into what the challenges may have been being a biracial character, being of mixed heritage, right? If you're doing the same thing for gender, you can say, hey, what is it like being a guy and surrounded by women? Or what is it like being a woman in a man's world and you feel like you're always trying to fight for your identity or who you are? Ask your characters these deep questions because they're your characters. This is your interview. You can go as deep as you want. Now, I will tell you, be very careful in how you word things because you can't ask for any like sexually explicit things or vulgar or graphic or violent things because ChatGPT is really careful in how you word things. So I couldn't say, hey, what is it like to, commit suicide or think about suicide or have suicidal thoughts? You can't say things like that. So you got to be careful in how you word things. You could say things like, have you ever battled with depression, or have you ever battled with, not wanting to be here and your struggles of, life and death. You can ask things like that, but you have to be careful in how you word it and how you phrase it because ChatGPT will limit in how you answer things like that. So just be careful in how you're doing that. Hey, Queen Vanessa, how are you? Happy Sunday to you too. It's good to see you. Hey, Gigi, it's good to see you too. I'm glad you guys are joining. We're just doing character interactions and character profiles and character interviews. So we're enhancing the whole character theme today by taking it to the next level and using ChatGPT to do it. So you guys are right on time. We're just going through it. We're just going over the recap. And you haven't, and I will upload the replay for this. It's going to, now that I had to switch off, I realized it's going to be 2 replays. I don't know if I can combine them into one. I'll figure it out. But it may have to be 2 separate videos because I had to cut off and come back in. So either way, I'm going to make sure you guys have the video up so you can see the replay of this. So if you guys miss anything, don't worry. You can see the replay and catch what you missed and you'll be good. All right, so what do you guys feel about character now? That we've gone over things of like the actual character profile and how you can do pictures in ChatGPT and Midjourney, how you can do your character profile, how you can do your collage and do things to help you. Yeah, replay, I'm telling you that it helps a lot. So I completely understand. So replays will be available in Discord. Also, you guys can follow me on YouTube. It's the same full name, Tamara Artelia Martin, and follow me on there too, so you can know when I upload replays in case you're not in the Discord and don't see the links. But I always put the links in the Discord channel so you guys can see the replays. So you guys will be up to date in case you see it, or you want to go over what I went over and mimic what I did, so you can do the same thing with your character interviews and your character profiles and your character collages. And I don't mind you guys copying anything like that, because I see this as an educational experience. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I can't use that because she did a creative thing and it's her creative intellectual property. I already told you guys I'm not doing a story with this. This is mainly for the live so you can learn. So I'm not going to even run with this as a character or as an actual thing. It's meant to be a learning thing that we did in class, rather than being like, okay, now I'm going to write a story about it. I don't have time to write any more stories. I have more than enough stories. So it's definitely meant to be a thing to help you guys learn, for sure. So yeah, I know, I'm glad you're in the Discord too. I'm so glad you guys are. And if you guys are on here and you're not in the Discord, you can definitely join. It's free to join. It is a free community. Just click the link in my bio. It's the first link there, and it's called the Storytellers Tea Room. And that's the Discord server we're in. And the class that we're doing, the novel and story writing class, is in that server. Make sure you click the expand channels button though, so you can see all the channels in there so you don't miss it. So that way you guys can see everything that's in there. I also put a book recommendation in the book club called Fantasy Fiction by T. Taylor. She's an amazing author, by the way. She's an interracial romance author herself, and she is killing it in romance. She's doing so well as a romance author, so she's definitely qualified to write about how to write addictive fiction and addictive writing. And like I said, even if you don't write fiction, I still recommend that you read it, because it has a lot of storytelling elements in it that can help you still tell your story. So that's definitely a book I highly recommend that you guys read, whether you're fiction or nonfiction or even poetry. I think it's a great book to have, for sure. Hey Ginger, you're good, and don't worry, like I said, I'm doing the replay and the replay's available, so whatever you miss, you can always watch the replay. You'll be good. You're fine. You're always fine. You guys coming in, and even if you're coming late, don't worry about it. I had to reset myself and reset the whole live, so that was a whole issue in itself too, so I think it really helped. So just so you guys can let's do one more last question, because I know some of you are just coming on here. What we've been doing all day is just doing more in-depth character research for our character that we created on Wednesday, Elias, the shy, magical wizard character that we created on Wednesday. We did photos for him, we did background information for him, and now we're doing a character interview with ChatGPT to have that back and forth, right? So let's do one more question so you guys can see how powerful this is. Let's have like a more diverse, unique question. Let's talk about okay, let's ask him a really question that you kind of don't usually ask. So you know how people say you don't usually ask people questions about religion, sex, or what's the other one, politics, right? Let's ask him about religion, because he grew up in a nunnery, right? So let's ask him this question. Okay, I have one more question for you, Elias.
Sure. What would you like to ask next?
I know you grew up in a nunnery, so I have to ask you, what are your religious beliefs? Do you believe in God? Do you feel like you are founding, into the Catholicism that you were growing up in, or do you have a different perspective?
Growing up in the nunnery, I was deeply influenced by Catholic teachings and developed a strong sense of faith. I do believe in God and find comfort in my spirituality. However, as I've grown and experienced more of the world, my perspective has broadened. I hold on to my beliefs, but also embrace the importance of understanding and respecting diverse perspectives. My faith is a guiding light, but I'm open to exploring and learning from other viewpoints as well.
That was such a cool, unpolitical answer. I thought it was kind of cool. It's like, I have faith in God, but I'm also open to new perspectives and new religions and new ideas. That's kind of cool. So yeah, replay, by the way, will be in the Discord channel. So join the Discord, click the link in my bio to join. It's free. And you'll be in the Storytellers Discord, and then you'll see the links in there. You can also go straight to YouTube and find my full name on there. So Tamara Artelia Martin, the same name that's in my bio. Just type in Tamara Artelia Martin, that should come up, and you can follow the channel there too. So either one's fine. You can see the replays from the last 2 weeks. Well, this will be week 2. This is the end of week 2. We're going to week 3. So you guys can see the replays on there and things like that too. So I know, that was a great answer, right? Like, I'm really kind of liking Elias's character. Like, I feel like the thing about this is, since you're having someone else answering the questions for you, it gives you a creative insight into your character that you wouldn't have had before. And like we said, the accent makes it even better because, like, I don't know about you, I'm horrible at accents. I do an accent, I think people think I'm making fun of them, and I'm really not. I'm just horrible at accents. So I'm glad she has a better British accent than I can ever even try to, embody in any way. So she really makes the character. We have this kind of cool interaction and this cool back and forth dialogue that's making this character interview so powerful and so real. Right? So then, like I said, don't forget, you're doing this back and forth talk, so she's going to take this and put it into text later on. So you don't have to copy the interview and try to write down everything she's saying. Instead, you can take notes on what you're getting from the interview. What are you realizing about Elias while you're having this interview? Because she's not going to take those notes because those are introspective notes you're getting as a writer. So as you're doing this interview, you may say, hey, I realize Elias is stronger than I thought. He has a more internal strength that people don't really notice, and it's not really apparent until you talk to him and interact with him. Then if you have a scene with Elias, he's not going to really showcase his strength to just anybody. He's going to probably showcase the people that he cares about, like his love interest in the story, his friends or companions. They'll see it maybe later on as they get to know him. These are things that you'll get as a writer by doing this interview, so now you get more introspection into your character, and when you write the character, you have a more realistic grasp of who he is. Because like I tell you guys, although you may be creating fantasy characters with magic, with powers, or aliens, or vampires, I don't care what you're creating, even if it's you, your real story is what's going to really pull your readers in, and connecting to them on a human level, on a human emotional connection. That's what pulls your readers to your story. And I don't care if you're writing, again, fiction, nonfiction, or poetry. That human connection is what we look for when we're reading our stories. No matter what species they are, no matter what world they're in, no matter whether they're in the past or the future. It's the human emotional connection we look for, that we connect to them, that we fall in love with them, that we feel like they're real people. That's what guides your story and creates the best story that you possibly can have. So, what book is Elias from? That's the thing. It's not a real book. It's a fake book, a fake character we created. We haven't even created a name for the story yet. Like, we literally created him on Wednesday and said we want this character in a reverse harem romance. And if you guys don't know what reverse harem romance is, I'll tell you again. So reverse harem basically means there's one woman and multiple men, or multiple partners, period. It doesn't always have to be men. It can be women too. But she has more than one love interest in the end. So that's what I write. I write pararomance, menage, and reverse harem. Menage, she just has 2 love interests in the end, but in reverse harem, she ends up with more than 2. So it can be 3, 4, 5. If you go into erotica, it can be like 10. Stephanie Brother goes all the way up into the double digits, which I will never do because I don't have the energy to write or even fantasize about writing, having 10 love interests at one time. But that's reverse harem. So we said we want this character to be a magical, shy character in a fake reverse harem romance. We haven't created the title. We don't even know who the love interest is, and she's the main character. This is like kind of like a side love interest male character, and we're trying to flesh him out because as a side character, he's he's still a main character because he'll be a love interest, but he's not as in the forefront as the female character would be. So even though he's not even the main center of attention in the story, we have such a strong grasp on him now that we've done his pictures, his profile, his background information, his interview. Now we have a grasp on who he is as a human being and as a person. So then when we write his character, he'll become real and things like that. So yeah, he's not even a real character in a book. He's not even a fake character in a book. There's no book where you can find this character. We literally created him on Wednesday, and we're just rolling with it and going with it as we're taking him. So isn't that cool? Like, that shows that you guys can create these imaginary characters that you have like a little, maybe just have a little glimpse of who they are. You don't really know who they are. You don't know their voice. You don't know their accent. You don't know their background. But we didn't even know he was Puerto Rican and Irish descent until today. We didn't know who he was. We didn't know what he was going to look like or anything until today. So we didn't even know his cultural background until we started playing with ChatGPT and the images, because we were like, oh yeah, so we need to know what he physically looks like for this. So then we said, let's combine him into a multicultural character that's part Irish, and because we wanted him to have, because he grows up in a nunnery. So what the best place to be in, like, the UK, right? United Kingdom area is a good place to be if you're raised in a nunnery. I feel like if you're in the US, you really wouldn't be raised in a nunnery. You would be in a, very, you'd be adopted in a regular, home, or a home for, boys or girls, or, different like actual adoption systems, more so than raised by nuns. Like being raised by nuns is not like an American thing, right? It's more like a thing that you would see in Europe or in like another world, another country, not another world, but another country more so than the US. If someone said they were raised by nuns in the US, you're like, wait, what? Was that legal? Were they allowed to raise you? They should have put you into the foster system or something, right? So it's a completely different thing than if you're in like a country area in Ireland and someone drops you off at a nunnery and they're like, well, we'll raise you. Like, I feel like that would be more realistic. So that's why I kind of made him Irish and Puerto Rican. So it's like, oh, wait, Puerto Rican, because we're like Hispanic, but then I couldn't just say I want him to be Hispanic. I had to be specific. So I could have said Cuban. He could have been, Mexican, but I said Puerto Rican. I could have said Spanish because that probably would have been more realistic since he's Irish. Because then you're like the background. Where does Puerto Rican come into? But maybe he came over here to the U.S., or maybe his mom came from the U.S., or his dad came over here from Ireland. Like, it could have been a whole bunch of backgrounds. We don't know. That's what's so cool about this. You come with the background. So if we came with this idea that he's Puerto Rican and Irish, you're like, how does that even happen? Like, who goes where? Can you go over there to Ireland, or does he come over here to, and is the mom Irish, or is the dad Irish? See, these are the cool things that's fun about characterization. As you guys are asking these questions, now you're building up the character, you're building up who this person is, and you're coming up with a background story, and you're kind of imagining what the answers to these questions are, right? We didn't know. We don't even know which parent is of which descent. We just know he's Puerto Rican and Irish. We can maybe dive into that more and be like, hey, which one is which? Like, is your dad the Irish one? Is your mom the Irish one? Like, how did they interact? How did they meet each other? Maybe they met on a ship or something. Maybe this isn't even modern day times. Maybe this is old world magic, right? Because the way he looks in the pictures, it doesn't really look like it has to be modern day society, right? It can be another world, or it could be modern times in a different period, right? Or different kind of like secondary worlds, if you will. It's all up to you. You decide how to set your story, how to create your story, and make it yours. That's what's so cool about doing this in this way. You're not doing it in a way that you have to be concrete about it. You can always change it if you don't like it too. It's your story. And that's what's awesome about this too, is because even if you haven't started the story yet, you can kind of change things around to make it work for you, because we haven't created the story. So we don't even know the outline yet. We just know we wanted this character and we saw him vividly in our mind, and he's one of the main characters. And now, maybe because he's Irish, maybe the story takes place in Ireland, or maybe it takes place in Puerto Rico, or maybe it kind of has a kind of tie-in to who the characters are and what they do. So it really, this is like the fun part of writing. I swear it is, because it's like you're using the creative part of your brain and you're coming up with ideas, and the story is kind of unfolding for you. This is why I say it's always fun to write out of order. If you start with just chapter 1, we didn't even know who Elias was. How are you going to be able to write a story? And yes, he may not come into play until chapter 5. Maybe the main character, the female character, doesn't meet him until chapter 5 or chapter 10. But we have a so strong grasp on him so much that we can be like, hey, we know his background, we know who he is. What is the best way for our female character to meet him? Like, maybe she goes to the nunnery. Maybe she has to go and find some clues in the nunnery, and he's one of the people that helps her find information, and that's how he, comes into her harem, if you will. Oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless, which is kind of cool. So yeah, right, so impressive, so cool. He has blue eyes. He was my geography teacher at high school. Oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Wait, so does he look like Elias? Is that what you're saying? Like, Elias looks like your geography teacher from high school? That's awesome. I love that. That is so cool. We're just creating this fake character and be like, hey, I connect to you on a different level because you remind me of a different person I met in my life. That's what's cool too. Like, let's say that you ran with that too. Let's say like you remember certain things about your geography teacher. Maybe you had a crush on him, or all the girls had a crush on him because he was cute and gorgeous and stuff like that. And maybe he's part of the persona that we put into Elias, right? That's what's so awesome about this. You guys can take real people that you saw or maybe had one interaction with, and you're like, you would be so cool to talk to, or, have a discussion with, and things like that. You know those people that you meet just randomly and just briefly meet them, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I could know you in real life, that'd be awesome. They can be a character in your story, right? Just like how I tell you guys when people piss you off. You can author them in your story. You can do the same thing for people that you love and you like have that one encounter with. And there's so many beautiful, amazing people that I've seen, just met, haven't even talked to them. I just saw them in passing, and I was like, oh my goodness, I wonder what your story is. Those make the best characters because you take what you saw, an image, and you make that a real character, and now you give them a persona, you give them flaws, you give them strengths and weaknesses. That's really cool. So, I mean, when you interact with people on a daily basis and you guys find inspiration in different people that you talk to, whether it's wise older people or beautiful people that you thought are gorgeous, and you're like, oh my gosh, what, like, how do I capture that? Put them in a story. Like, that's the amazing thing about being a writer. You can just put them in a story. I recommend that for sure. Oh no, you were saying you had a geography teacher who was the same heritage as Elias. Oh, cool. That is awesome. So he was Irish and Puerto Rican. Look at that. That is so cool. And it was just a random combination that we came up with today. So that's what you did, Ginger. That's so cool. I love that. And that's what I'm hoping you guys do. Like, just take these little interactions, these activities and exercises that we're doing, and just run with it. Don't feel like it has to be a right way or a wrong way. Even if you don't prompt well, even if you like, oh my gosh, I could have made that prompt better, or maybe I should like tweak it a little bit. The more you do it, the more you'll find a rhythm with it, right? Just like writing. When you guys are prompting, don't feel like you have to have a certain exact prompt to get what you want. It's more about coming up with what you see in your mind's eye and kind of putting that into words to tell ChatGPT. That'll help you, right? I think that'll give you kind of like an idea of how to, I don't know, how to like flesh out your character better. I think that's a good way of actually thinking about it. So that's really awesome. I love that you knew someone who's actually Irish and Puerto Rican descent, which I don't think I've ever met anyone like that. I just came up randomly with it, but that's kind of cool. So like, did he speak Spanish too? Because what I'm noticing now, as I'm learning more about Hispanic culture, just because a person's Hispanic doesn't mean that they know how to speak Spanish. And sometimes parents will keep them from speaking Spanish so they have a better chance in America because they don't want them to feel like they're an outsider or anyone to think that they're, you know, less than, which I thought was interesting because I'd be like, I want to learn both. I want to know English and Spanish. Like, I don't want to be like, I can't speak one or the other. But I didn't realize that was a thing until I learned more about Hispanic culture. And not just Hispanic culture, Asian culture too. There's some Asian families who are like, no, I don't want you to speak Chinese, or I don't want you to speak, you know, Japanese or anything. I want you to just speak English so people can accept you in America. And I was like, what? That's a thing? I didn't even realize it's a thing. And that's what I mean when you learn different cultures and you guys learn it. It helps you understand the character you're creating if that person is from that culture. That's something I never would have thought was a thing because, you know, I didn't speak a different language growing up. I only speak English, although it would have been cool to learn a different language as a young person because I feel like as an older person, it's really hard to learn different languages now. But hey, Katie, happy Sunday. How are you? All right. And it's so true, right? It's crazy how like you learn about those cultures that way. And then you're like, I didn't think that would be something you struggled with, right? Just like when I learned about different biracial individuals and I didn't realize that they struggled with identity because there are people on both sides of their family that didn't accept them. Oh my gosh, what? Like, that's a thing? Like, this is why it's like so enlightening to learn about different people and different cultures and backgrounds, because when you guys start writing these people as real characters, you have to think about the challenges they go through that you may not have gone through yourself. But your character probably went through that. Right? Elias probably goes to Ireland and they're like, what? You're part Puerto Rican, you're part Hispanic? You're not pure Irish. You need to be of pure Irish descent to be Irish, right? And some people probably won't mind that he's of mixed blood or mixed descent. But he probably experienced that kind of racist behavior or, you know, cruel, like, you know, bigotry behavior, right? And not saying like anyone's right or wrong. I mean, obviously racism is wrong. But if you grow up in a culture where you feel like, okay, you have to be pure Irish or pure Puerto Rican, then in your eyes, you're not wrong, right? You think, oh, I'm treating him this way because I know what's right. So that's why I say every villain or what we see as an antagonist is the hero of their own story, because what they do, even though it seems evil or mean or, you know, like a bad thing they're doing, to them, they're doing the right thing. They're doing something that's vindicative of why they're making that choice. Same thing when people are evil in the real world. To them, they're not evil. They're just doing them. They're being them. They're being their own genuine self, right? So it's not like they see themselves as being mean or cruel. They may not know that that's what they're doing, right? Some of them do know. You can tell some of them do know, but a lot of them don't, because if they grow up in a certain culture and that's the way that you've been raised or reared or grown up in that environment, then when you treat someone differently who's different from you, then you don't realize how that is perceived by the other person, right? Same thing for the characters. So when we take our characters and make them real, we make them real by using our real world experiences to see how we interact with each other as humans. How do we deal with things like racism and sexism and inequality and things like that? And how would that be in this world? Because this world may not be exactly like our world, especially if you're going to tackle those like tough topics. Maybe you don't want to tackle them so hard where people are like, oh my gosh, is this a political book? Are we going into like actual like issues? You may not want to go hardcore with it, but it can be background issues that each of your individual characters go through that still impacts who they are as a character in your story. And that's what that can be really important. So I think that's really a good idea to think about when you guys are creating your characters, for sure. Gotta go, your phone's about to die. No worries, Lisa, you're all good. Thank you for being here. And yes, remember, dabbling in some different cultures does help. Yeah, exactly. I think it helps us become more enlightened writers when we dabble in different cultures and learn about different cultures and use that knowledge that we learn into the characters that we create. I think that definitely makes us better writers, for sure. Katie's like, get the cord, Lisa. Get the cord. Don't leave. Just get the cord and come back. I love it. Thank you for sharing the live, Katia. I appreciate it. So let me know if you guys have any questions about character, because we're wrapping up for today, but I just want to make sure you guys have a good grip on how you can use these character interviews, because I know I talk about character interviews all the time, and I was like, I need to show you guys how this works and how you can use ChatGPT's voiceover to kind of help you with character interviews, because you may not feel comfortable being the interviewer and the interviewee. You may be like, I can't do this. This is too much. Or maybe you feel like it's just too complicated. You just rather be one or the other. You could have done the other, actually. You could have asked ChatGPT to kind of change it around. You could have said, you be the actual interviewer and I'm going to be Elias and I'm going to answer the questions and I want you to help me come up with this introspective. So you can reverse it too. So consider that when you guys are doing your interviews. Maybe have her be Elias for a little bit and you be the interviewer, and then switch it and she be the interviewer and you be Elias. That could work too. And you may be surprised at how you answer things differently than how ChatGPT would have answered it as Elias playing Elias. So these are just meant to kind of get you guys in the mood for imagination, the mood for creativity, so you can come up with these ideas and be able to implement them well and feel like you have a good grasp of your character and a good grasp over your scenes when you create them. Because like you've seen, you don't have to have the story together before you have your characters together. You can have all these characters in the ensemble of cast in your mind before you even know where the story goes. And now that even makes it better because you're getting to know who your characters are before you even put them in a world or in a society or in a structure where they have to, fight battles. You don't even know what those battles are, but if you know the core heart of your characters, that's really going to help you as far as creating a story. Because like I tell you guys all the time, characters are the heart of any story. No matter what genre you're writing, no matter what category you're in, it's going to be the heart of your characters, or the heart of the voice or the tone of your writing that is really going to help you establish a connection with your reader. So hopefully that helped you guys see that and help you understand how it works. And actually, Katie, I think you came on after we did this, so I'll show you this. I'll show you this again that we did. And I keep showing, I'm so proud of it, because we did it, it was so cool, it came together so well. I think you came on too late before you could see it. I'm going to show you what we did. In Canva, because you were in the beginning stages when we started doing, you and Lachey were both in the beginning stages when we started playing with Canva, and we're on here by ourselves just doing Canva stuff. Let's see. Oh, where is it? Why do I keep losing the present area? There it is. I'm like, where is the present? Alright, so we did this. Let's see. So we did the character, that's the character profile that's in the Discord. So what I did, I just removed the top picture and just replaced the 3 character images for Elias at the top. Right? So I just made that his character profile. And then we did a collage version. Like that. That came out so well too. I think that came out really cool. I can never get this to look like the way I want it. There we go. So we have all 3 pictures. of him, 2 from ChatGPT, 1 from Midjourney, and then that one picture in the forest kind of thing was like a random picture I thought was cool to emulate like Ireland or like the forest of Ireland or something like that in a magical way. And so now we have this like cool little like collage of pictures for Elias. That's kind of awesome, right? They came out so well, right? That was so awesome. You roped in from Super Bowls. I keep forgetting Super Bowls tonight. I'm like, I probably should look at that. Well, I normally don't. I watch the game sometimes, but I'm more into the halftime show and commercials. So I know that started too. So I won't keep you guys long because I know some of you are probably going to watch the game and do stuff too. But I just want to make sure you guys had everything you need for doing the character profile. And don't forget, the discussion post is due tonight by midnight. So, no, not tonight. It's due by tomorrow night. I extended it, I forgot. It's due by tomorrow night by midnight. So just make sure you guys get it in, and I will read over them and give you feedback on it and things like that so you guys can feel comfortable with everything. So that was also good. I'm glad, Coty. I'm glad you got information that helped you. I hope you guys got good information to help you with your characterization and help you guys feel like that you're not doing this alone. Each time we come on here, I try to give you guys different activities and exercises so you can actually implement what you're meant to do for the week. So same thing when we get into setting. I'm going to show you guys how to do the same thing for setting. Create setting profiles and world Bibles for your stories and how to do visuals and images for them and kind of like come up with them. Those are the exercises we're going to do when it comes to setting. So each week we're going to actually implement the things that I'm teaching you guys so you can see how you can take it to the next level and make it more expansive so you don't feel like you're just stuck in one area with your creativity and your content, your characters, and your story. So hopefully that helps. The other things you can't find how the discussion. Okay, here. I'll put it. Hold on one second. Let's see if I have it here. Comment. And then. All right, here. So that's the main link. I'll paste it. Can I pin it? It's not going to let me pin it. There we go. So copy that link and put it in your browser. Make sure you open a new browser. Don't go through TikTok. Like, actually open it into your internet browser. And it's been found that people stay in the TikTok browser. I think it makes it a little bit crazy. But go to that link. The first link in the bio is say Storytellers Tea Room. That's a Discord server. So click on that and let me just double check because like sometimes I gotta double check to make sure they haven't voided it again. And make sure it's still active. Hold on one second. It should still be active. I checked it yesterday. It was okay. Make sure it's okay today. Okay, yeah, it's okay. So go on that one, look for Storytellers Tea Room, click that and join. It's free. There's an upsell of $7, but you don't have to pay that upsell. The upsell is just there as the character profile that I showed you today. It's an extension of that. So it's a longer character profile if you do want to have a character profile. But it's a free community. You can just go through and join and you'll be a part of it. It'll give you the link immediately as soon as you sign up, and it'll also email it to you. So if you forget it and you didn't find it, go to your email and look for the link and it'll send you the direct link so you can join the Discord server. And then you guys can be a part of it for sure. Oh, you were looking how to. Oh, I gotcha. All right. You mean the how-to for the profile, you mean? Or where to find the character profile? Because the actual ones that we did today are not in the Discord. Like, I don't have the prompts in there for today. I just went over it was just like literally by the cuff or seat of my pants kind of thing. I don't have any direct prompts for it. But I will tell you guys this. I'm actually going to be, if you're in the Discord and you're on my mailing list over the next day, I think, I may do it tonight. But I'm going to try to have a special for you guys where you can buy the 3-hour workshop that I did a few weeks ago, and you'll get the AI prompts, you'll get a few journal things and a few things that help you with social media posting and things like that. I'm putting it in one big bundle, and I'm giving you guys a special for you guys because you're in the community and because you're on my list. So look for that too, because I know you guys were asking about AI prompting. It gives you a lot of AI prompting guides and things like that to help you too. So I'm running a special on that because I want you guys to be able to have the tools you need to be able to succeed. But I know sometimes it can be hard to pay for things when you can't like afford to like get these, like, I swear some people are doing like $100 courses and $500 courses. I'm like, oh my God, people don't have that. So I'm doing a special on this bundle so you guys can have the AI prompts, the journals, the things that we've been talking about, and the other tools that will be helpful. You don't need it for the course, but it can definitely be helpful as we're going through it. So yeah, how to do your discussion post. Okay, yeah, I can show you that really quickly. Make this bigger. Okay, so in the Discord, oh man, I keep going. I don't know why when I go the wrong direction, I feel like I'm in like direction. Oh, that's right. Because I started the live again. I have to take the mirror off. I'm like, why am I going the opposite way? Okay, this is better. I was like, I can't go the right way. Like, what's happening? Okay, this is better. Okay, so now you see on there where it says Novel Story 101. That's the place that you'll go, and then underneath there you'll see the discussion posts underneath there. So it'll have week 1 discussion post, week 2 discussion post, and then under that discussion post you'll be able to utilize it. Alright, so just like if you click on it, if you click on Novel Story Writing 101 first, you'll see like all the ones. And so you see like each one for each week. You have week 2 discussion post, week 1 discussion post, and just click on the discussion post for that week and then just reply to that discussion post and you'll be good to go. Alright, and you should be good. Let me know if you can see it once you click on it and go there. And then you'll see week 2 and you can start replying to week 2. You can do week 1 too if you want. I mean, that's fine. It'll be late, but I mean, if you want, just go. I would just recommend just going straight into week 2. Got it? Okay, awesome. Awesome! Alright, cool. I'm sorry I misinterpreted what you were asking earlier. I think I'm also getting like food brain. I probably need to eat something. I haven't eaten in a little bit, so I need to eat some food. So it's probably time for me to go so I can eat something. So, but yeah, so that's there. Let's see, is there anything else I need to tell you guys? I think we're good. Yeah, so anytime you need to do discussion posts, just go on that channel and it'll always be in that discussion post area. So when I do week 3, I'll be posting week 3, if not tonight, tomorrow, and opening it up for, we're going into setting discussion. So then we'll go into that, and that'll be the topic of week 2. Make sure I'm on the right track. Sometimes I'll say the wrong thing. I'm like, oh my god, no, I didn't say the right thing. Hold on, make sure I think it is setting. I think I had it because I wanted you guys to go over character first before we went into setting. Now, keep in mind, too, when you guys do setting can be a character in your story. So don't feel like setting is something, set apart from the other people in your story and things like that. Your character, your setting can be a character in your story in the sense that you want to give it enough shape and enough, enough detail and information where it's almost like another character in your world. Because people fall in love with that too, right? So just keep that in mind. Yep. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm right. Setting the scene for week 3. So week 3, we'll be setting the scene, and it'll be about writing a description of your scene, whether you're doing it for nonfiction or fiction, and then writing a poem that captures the essence of place and imagery and mood if you're doing poetry. So either way, you're setting the scene for the location, the things around you. You're focusing on scenery and description and things like vivid sensory details, like what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste, what you feel, all those things, and how you're creating a strong setting. So that's going to be week 3. So when you guys are preparing for week 3, note that that's what we're going to be talking about for Wednesday and this coming Sunday. It's going to be all about setting. So that's a good place to leave off from since we've gone over characterization for this week. I think that'll help you guys get a better grasp of your storytelling too as you're going through it. What's the tab name on Discord? It's called Novel and Story 101. So look for the novel and story. It'll say it's a text channel, so it's not like a regular channel. It'll say text channel, and then it's an actual forum. And then when you go in there, you'll see all the ones, the syllabus, week 1, week 2, and then also I have another one for the replays in there too. All of it's under one tab. And I did that because I didn't want it to be all over the place. I want it to be in one structure, so you should be good. So yeah, novel. Let me show one more time. Make it a little bigger so you guys can see it. So see on the left right there, it says text channels. You'll see Novel Story Writing 101. And then underneath there you see week discussion 2. That's the first one, but there's more than that. There's actually... Come on. When you click on Novel Story 101, you'll see these other areas underneath there. You'll see class replays, week 1 discussion, week 2 discussion, and the Welcome to Story Writing, Novel and Story Writing 101 is where you're going to find the syllabus. So all those are in the same channel. Alright, it's a text channel, it's all under there. I just did that to make it a little bit easier so you guys can find it and be able to see everything. So when I do the replay for today, those will be in there too. The other replays are already up. So the last replay we did was Wednesday, that's already up there too. So this will be the 4th replay, but since we had to split into 2, it's probably going to be a part 1 and part 2. So I'm going to have to split into 2 different ones to upload it. So Hopefully, TikTok doesn't do that weirdness again. That's the first time I've seen that happen, and I couldn't do anything about it. So that was annoying. But yeah. So hopefully you guys had some good fun today. You learned something new today. You saw creativity in a way that, like, it doesn't have to be just us being writers. And I think that's what we get sometimes. We feel like as writers, all we can do is write. No, with ChatGPT and Midjourney and things like that, you can create image and visuals and kind of create visuals, kind of enhance your character guides, your story guides, your world building guides, and help you too. So good. I'm glad, Ginger. I'm so glad you guys got so much out of it. And thank you guys for liking the live and following and the gifts that you've been sending. I appreciate it. Sometimes I'm so busy like educating you guys, I don't see everything that you're doing and in the chat and everything. So I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me and always coming in and doing the work too. You guys are doing so well, and I'm so proud of you guys. And I'm so happy that we're on this learning experience together. Like I said, I'm learning with you guys. Sometimes you guys will mention something, I'm like, what? Let me think about that. Like yesterday, we talked about M dashes and N dashes, and I hadn't thought about those in a while. And I was like, wait, am I giving you the right information? Let me check. I had to double check to make sure I was giving you the correct information. So even me, I have to double and triple check my information to make sure I'm giving you guys the right information. So that shows I want to make sure that I'm giving you accurate information if I say, hey, yeah, this is right or this is not right. So I always try to double check myself if I'm not sure, because as an educator, I want to make sure that you're getting the right information from me. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you so much, Jenny. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for all the gifts and loves that you've been showing today. I appreciate it so much. I will be on again. I'm not sure if I'll be on Monday. Mondays are kind of busy for me, so I normally don't come on Mondays. But if I do, I may come on, tomorrow evening, maybe later in the evening, if I do. So if I come on tomorrow, I'll be around 10 or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't think I can do morning. But I'll let you guys know. Like I said, before I go live, I'll put it in the chat that I'm going live so you guys can know. So I'll put in the Discord that I'm going live so you guys are notified. So just check the Discord for that day to see if I'm going live, and I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated in there. That's the best way to let you guys know if I'm going live. And then, like I said, check your emails, because I'm going to be sending out a special so you guys can look in that special to see if it's for you. Again, no pressure to buy anything, but I wanted you guys to have resources that you need. And I'm creating a bundle so you have everything in one place. So like you can just invest in one thing and not have to have all these things you have to buy this and buy that. And it's like so annoying when you have to buy so many different things. So I'm putting the AI information there, the 3-hour workshop. I'm putting some more journals and guides for you. I'm also, because we talk about social media, and we're going to be talking about social media over the next couple of weeks a little bit more, so you guys can know how to engage and create engagement posts and things like that. I have an engagement social media planner in there for you guys too, to make it a little bit easier for you. So I was trying to think of everything that I could put in there to give you the most value at the most lowest cost that you could possibly have, since you guys are in my community and you're on my list. So hopefully that helps you for sure. Yeah, thank you so much, KD. I appreciate it. And thank you, Empress. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys back. I'm happy to be here as a resource for you guys as you go on your writing journey, and to help you guys get the motivation and inspiration you need to keep going. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much, Ginger. You guys are so sweet. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you for being amazing people in my community. I love having you guys in there, and I love having you come on here and live and being so supportive. So with that, I wish you the best Sunday. I hope you guys have a great evening. Enjoy the Super Bowl, or if you're not going to watch the Super Bowl, enjoy your evening. And I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow, but if not, I will see you definitely Tuesday. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Thank you for the gifts and the love. You guys are amazing. Have a good one. Take care, guys. Bye.